That is actually also captured in our dailies, which I'll be perusing shortly. In studio, I'm joined by a very key guest. That is Professor Fred Ogolla. He is an economic and governance expert who was already in studio. And as well, Josephine Wanjiru, youth and gender activist. Joining us shortly will be Honorable David Kiplagat, who is the SOE Member of Parliament. But let's see what's on our dailies this morning. People Daily splashes that Ruto mocks the poor. This is our own publication here at MediaMax, which is also the Kenya's #1 free newspaper. Ruto mocks the poor. Though President rode to power on the back of the hoi polloi, he has stuffed his cabinet choices with millionaires whose riches laugh at the wretched of the earth. That is on page 3. The image is there of Kithure Kindiki, 694 million Kenya shillings. Kipchumba Murkomen, 620 million Kenya shillings. Alfred Mutua, 462 million Kenya shillings. Justin Muturi, 801 million. Migosi Ogamba, 790 million. Eden Duale, 980 million. 444 million is Rebecca Miano. John Mbadi, 437 million. These are just among the few. Even as Hassan Joho, former Mombasa governor, also former deputy party leader at the ODM party, 2.3 billion Kenya shillings. Just to begin with ladies first, Josephine Wanjiru. As of last time when you're here, what is the net worth? Has it grown? And also what do you make of the People Daily's cover page?
Thank you for having me, Chacha. Thank you, K24, for always inviting me. First of all, yes, my Fuliza limit has grown by 200 bob. I thank God. But on what's on the front page of the dailies, and that's People Daily and even The Nation, what I'd like to say is that I think we're really focusing on the wrong things here. And I feel the headline on the People Daily is really misguiding, saying that he mocks the poor. As much as he's a hustler nation person, it really, wealth does not equate, you know, opulence. Wealth does not equate corruption. Wealth does not equate a lack of ethics, and also wealth does not equate proper leaders. So we should not be judging these people based on wealth. And I think the speaker echoed that in the county hall, saying we are so much focusing, and the media is so much focusing on the wealth, and not even realizing the actual things that they are being nominated for in cabinet, and not they are saying what policies they'll implement. That is my opening remark on this statement. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now to Prof. Fred Ogolla. I think in the cabinet, the 20 who have so far been vetted, there is, I believe, one prof, that is Kithure Kindiki, with 694 million. So we believe also as a prof, you are around there. What is the net worth, prof? And also on the cover page of the People Daily.
It's not worth mentioning my network. No, by the way, I don't think Kindiki has gotten his wealth from being a professor, like myself being in the classroom teaching, earning peanuts, because you see, in this economy, when you're a teacher, let's say you don't earn so much money. Doctors, professionals don't make that money, those kind of money. I think that only those who are privileged to maybe serve as CEOs, and you make so many deals maybe. So my net worth is not worth mentioning at all. I believe that I just live hand to mouth, just like every other Kenyan. But now I want to state categorically that I think there's a reason why people are disclosing their wealth. It's just to know how much money do you have when you enter office, so that you can be accountable to it when you leave. So those figures don't make sense. Whether Joho has 10 billion shillings, it does not matter. What will matter is after he leaves office, people start to say, if you came in at the 2.3 billion shillings, do you leave office when you're how much? So those figures do not even matter at the moment. They'll matter mostly when you go forward. The second thing I want to say is that how do we reach those figures, and how do you justify them? Because people ask you vague questions. So is they made of, let's say, a bit of cash, a bit of building? So then how do you really go to verify that actually the person who has gotten this money has grown because of XYZ? How can you be able to account for it? I think that the questions being asked in Parliament are very vague. and Parliament cannot be able to prove anything. If I tell you they are meant or buildings and they are appreciated over the few years, how do you approve or disapprove? You know, in interviews, there's what they call valid questions and invalid questions. Valid questions are questions you can verify. For example, if I want to know you are a loyal employee of Media Max, I should not ask you, are you a loyal employee? Of course, you'll say, yes, I'm very loyal. But if I ask you a question, for example, Joe, if I offer you a job today, will you leave Media Max and join immediately? Then if you say yes, then I know you're not a loyal person. So we should not be asking questions which are testing intelligence. Even a young child can answer those questions and pass. I think there should be a way on which by Parliament should be able to bring a report to you and tell you, we have a report. Your net worth is this and this, because the intelligence should know. There's nobody in Kenya who can say no one can know. They even know your bank account balance. By the way, just don't play around here by saying that your full is 200, because these people can actually verify your account using NIS.
But I'm very serious.
So I'm saying that they should be able to present us a report which is independent from there, because there's what you call a report suffering from self-reporting. You know, self-reporting reports cannot be relied upon. So ideally, Parliament should go further to give us a very clear reporting on how we can verify these things and tell them, we have information that you have this land. How did you acquire it? Because the issue is not how much you are worth. The issue is how did you earn that money? And then secondly, if we have the exact figures, we can verify later if they appreciate or not and tell you, last time you were this money, now you are that way. I think that for me will make much sense. And last but not least, I really care whether those people are going to deliver to their citizens. I think that's more important. Does it mean people who are rich will do better than those who are poor? Does it mean those who don't have any net worth at all will be able to perform to Kenyans? If those people have all those big businesses, why don't they continue running those businesses and get some young Kenyans who actually want to come here and suffer? Because if you're running a business worth 2.3 billion shillings, will you have time to run cabinet already looking for how you can use the network in the government to grow again your assets? So for me, there should be candid questions here, but I really want to say that the person who moved me the most in this interview was Joho. Even if you don't like him or not, Joho told people that no one should look down upon anyone based on anything where they are now. And actually, if his story is true, I'm sure that story should inspire anybody. Well, in fact, it inspires young people. Let no one tell you, because I heard his story saying that he used to tell the teacher, let me go home early so that I can go do some business and earn money. For me, the most important thing was the story he told, very inspiring. And I want to tell people that we take a lot from there rather than just talk about how much money Joho is worth. Let's talk his story. It's a very powerful story.
Let's see also what is on the cover page of the Daily Nation. Faces behind Ruto, Raila political deal. Images there of Oburu Odinga, the Siaya senator. Former Cabinet Secretary, that is Raphael Tuju, Kimani Ichung'wah, National Assembly Majority Leader. Prof. Adams Olo, University of Nairobi lecturer. Aaron Cheruiyot, Kericho senator. And as well, Joe, who's a long-time Raila's confidant. That is on the Daily Nation. For Azimio leader Raila Odinga joining President Ruto was the lesser of two evils. Close allies of opposition chief Raila Odinga at the heart of his political deal with President William Ruto held a series of late-night meetings before the naming of the new cabinet. Nation can reveal Dr. Ruto was represented by the National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah and his Senate counterpart Aaron Cheruiyot. And now to Josephine. The faces there is no any face of Gen Z who were on the streets then. And this still is believed to be a hijacked revolution by the political, class. Do you believe in that? Are you witnessing that also, just with what the Daily Nation has splashed this morning?
Absolutely, because if you see from the heart of the original, I want to use the term original Gen Z demonstration, you'd realize the call was not for an inclusive coalition in the government. The call was for an accountable, a meritocratic, a transparent, a good-willed government. So this, as much as it includes the opposition coalition, it is not the definition of a broad-based government. This is just the definition of a handshake, which the president did promise he wouldn't give and has splashed it on the front pages. However, I do hope that even as it includes coalition, because coalition is not, it's part of a broad-based government, but it is not the only aspect of a broad-based government. Other aspects including people who have the same mindsets and goals that you have as the running government. Another one including people of all regions, religions, age, social class, all the counties across Kenya. That is what we term a broad-based government. As much as they have only splashed this in our faces, I hope this is not the only step that they are taking to be inclusive and to hear out the cries of the Gen Zs.
And now we are joined by Honorable David Kiplagat, who is the Soy Member of Parliament. Thank you so much for catching time this morning, Mheshimiwa. You know, people daily had splashed of Ruto mocks the poor, and images there of cabinet secretaries, nominees with their net worth. And I ask everyone this question: what is your net worth? Even as we begin our conversation this morning.
Okay, thank you, Chacha, and apologize for coming late. On the issue of the cabinet, I think looking at it...
To begin with you, Mheshimiwa, I know constituents of Soy are very curious. 2 years in, has the net worth doubled, tripled?
you know, sometimes the misnomer that when we splash the net worth, people think that is the liquidity, the cash that somebody can go into their account and withdraw. Like if you say that maybe Joe his net worth is around 2B, somebody might think that you can go to the bank and you will find 2 billion Kenya shillings.
As an accountable leader who
what happens is that when you are looking at your assets vis-a-vis liabilities, these are fixed assets that you own. It can be a plot, and you can imagine you can buy a plot that you bought in 1991 maybe in Mombasa City or Nairobi City. It might have been costing 1 million, but now costing around 300 to 400 million.
So we just want to know which career is more lucrative. For the cabinet members, some of them, their net worth increased by 100 million within 2 years.
If you look at the
a member of parliament for 2 years now.
If you look at
how much did you begin with and where
if you look at
now?
the men and women who have been nominated for the CS positions, these are familiar faces who have been around for long. Like if you look at somebody like Oparanya has been planning and economic minister during the Kibaki's time. Up to today, he has been a governor.
I know you're dodging
years.
this question, Mheshimiwa. 2 years ago versus now.
Now I'm still the same. I'm still the same as last.
So to next the question then,
Chacha, in life, what counts in life is very simple. So long as you can breathe, so long as you can eat, so long as you can educate your kids, that's it. Whether you have super or you have that basic, you are all breathing and you will all sleep and wake up the following day. So life goes on.
So you believe that would have been the same if you were in the cabinet, the maiden cabinet, and now also, if at all, you are reappointed?
You see, Chacha, what we need to tell Kenyans is that it's good to work hard. So let everybody work hard. In whichever space you have, just work hard. And God will bless you. But as I said, there are only 3 basic things. So long as you can breathe, so long as you can eat, and so long as you can provide the basic needs to your family. That's all.
Well,
That's what counts.
Thank you so much for creating time to be here this morning. And now to Prof. Faces behind Ruto Raila political deal. No face of Gen Z there. So they were busy perhaps brokering a deal on a revolution that was not theirs.
Of course,
I expected to see maybe the likes of Josephine Casmel, etc.
Yeah, you know,
You should have given me a bite on that since I've
Yes, I'm coming back to
come
you.
later.
I'm
and
coming back to you shortly.
I know Prof has talked a lot, so I need to
he
recap.
assumes.
I'm coming to you.
He should say assume, not know. Anyway, the point is that there has been a lot of discussion that what was this revolution all about, and I think that Kenyans really do not care who is in the cabinet, whether you can even have all Indians there, or you can even have, let's say, all Kikuyus there, or Kalenjins. I think Gen Z's demand was not that they should be in the cabinet. Gen Z's demand was not that they should be able to be part of picking the cabinet, because it's very clear. I like us to use the Constitution. The Constitution is very clear how a cabinet is picked, and there was no process there on how Gen Z should influence it. And if they wanted to influence it, then I think that's outside the Constitution. The president has got the right to pick the nominees the way he wants it. But I think Kenyans will just care if at all they deliver, for example, the public service, government services to the citizens. They would care if there's accountability. They would care if these are the best and brightest of Kenya. In fact, for me, instead of even flashing their money, the People's Daily could have asked, are these the best and brightest of Kenya? Because when you are in economic turmoil like we're having now, that's the time you pick your best. As a coach, if half time you find out there are 3 goals nil, you don't pick your third 11, you don't pick your fourth 11, you pick actually the best, the ones who are in the bench. You have to ensure the quality from the bench into the field is improving. So the question is, has the president improved the quality of the bench? Does the president want to score economically? If you look at the economic, let's say the minister for economic planning, has he added some value? Public service has been a big problem. Has it improved? So Kenyans are
actually
looking
the
for
performance of the cabinet nominees. Honorable Kiplagat, even as we are about to take a short commercial break, Daily Nation faces behind Ruto Raila political deal.
I think I like...
And also for the people daily, Ruto mocks the poor.
No. I think I like the comment of Prof. At least he's a bit aligned for the first time. for good reasons.
I'm just who I am.
For good reasons, but just that's on a lighter note. Yeah. Okay. Basically, you know, Kenya is a democracy, and Kenya is led by political parties. And what we are seeing is, you see, when there is some kind of instability, you pick faces which can stabilize that instability. And one of the faces that we all know by default is none other than Raila Amolo Odinga. He can be able to stabilize his base, including Prof. So, I'm
very independent.
Having stabilized the base, then at that
So Raila
point,
Odinga was brought on board to stabilize the Gen Zs.
of course, as you heard what the Gen Zs were saying. They were partyless, they were tribeless. Okay, they were everything less. So that lacuna in itself has to be filled. You cannot live in a country where you have a lacuna, a space that needs to be filled. Naturally, it will be filled, and I think it provides enough order for the leader of opposition to be able to fill that gap. And you can see when you smelling the air outside, you can feel that actually that problem has been a bit sorted. But having said that, you see the problem on face value. You could see it was Gen Zs agitating for reject finance bill, but after that you saw now it was mutating from one issue to another. But behind it, you know, every parking dog has its own owner. So behind it, there were owners, and they are well known who the owners were. And because we were playing politics, I think the president was smarter. He has been in politics long enough, and he was able to...
Who are the owners?
Of course, it will be known as time goes. But what I can tell you, behind the scenes, there were owners. So
At that juncture, we take a short commercial break. I also invite you in this conversation via social media platforms at K24TV at Joel Church, as well on SMS and WhatsApp numbers on the bottom of your screens. When we come back, we'll be focusing on the topic of the day, CS nominees vetting performance. With very key questions here. Was the exercise this time any different from before? Does this satisfy the need of the population that demands for change? What could have been done differently? And can Kenyans expect better results before 2027? We'll be right back with that conversation. Stay tuned.
We interrupt this programme to bring you some breaking news.